Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 42. We're going to talk about a kind of commonly misunderstood part of organising the shoulder for lifting weights, for front squatting, for cleaning, for receiving positions on the shoulders. We see a lot of problems related to shoulder dysfunction, and a lot of clients that we treat have shoulder problems from weightlifting and trying to move the barbell around. We're going to show you a kind of common problem related to the posterior shoulder aspect and how this is influenced by your starting setup position, particularly for front squats, but also for receiving your clean position. So we've got a victim with us today who's volunteered to help us out. So what I'm going to show you is a common misconception that we often see with setting up for the barbell. With Nicky, I'm going to get him to bring his shoulder into what would be kind of a relative position. I'm going to get him to keep his arm just kind of vertical for the moment so I can see as a reference. And what I'm going to get Nicky to do is I'm going to get him to kind of push his elbow forward. Now, the reason I'm getting him to push his elbow forward is because most clients that we tend to see, when they're setting up for a front rack position, will try to create this natural shelf across the top of the shoulder and the underside of the chin. This is obviously very important to support the weight of the bar, take it away from the arms. But what we find is it does something quite complex to the shoulder girdle. And it does two things in particular that we don't like. The first one is by forcing a protracted position, it unhinges the shoulder girdle completely. The second one is it puts his shoulder capsule into a very pre-wound up position, which then means you lose all your rotational ability whatsoever. So if Nicky turns to face the wall the far side, we're going to show you the two different examples. So this is Nicky in a kind of protracted posture. You can see it kind of breeds and has a propensity to cause this big rounded thoracic area. The second version, which we like better, is this kind of set shoulder position in a retracted position. This obviously has benefits to us. If we turn you back around, Nick. The two things that we like the most are as follows, okay? When Nicky is in this position, creating this artificial rack that is necessary, but is done in a less suboptimal way, what it does is two things. First one that we can see with Nicky is as follows. When Nicky is in this protracted position and we try to get him to externally rotate the arm, nothing actually happens. He's got no ability to externally rotate the shoulder, none whatsoever. If we try to force this position, all we are doing is forcing the capsule and some of the more dense connective tissues in the back of his shoulder to be in a very loaded position. And it isn't a stable position. It's actually a position which leads to many soft tissue dysfunctions. If we quite simply get him to set up his shoulders correctly, we can still initiate the shelf position, but by Nicky being in a retracted position, we automatically gain external rotation capacity in the shoulder. Now, clearly Nicky's trying to fight position here with his torso, but what it gives us is this ability to externally rotate the arm. That is crucial for us because, of course, when we're setting up into the front rack, we want to ensure that it's an active position, not a passive position, okay? Passive positions where the shoulders are forced forward often ends up leading, if we put both arms up, Nick, often ends up leading to this very narrow front squat position where fingers are in line with the shoulders or even inside the line of the elbows, and the elbows are flared. This is because your shoulder is trying to find space to be comfortable. If we get Nicky into a retracted posture, we would be able, relax this arm, we will be able to encourage him to be in a much more conducive position to support the load. We would give him a wider rack, which is a bigger base of support, but more importantly, he can drive external rotation himself, which creates a stable structure and couple of a force around his shoulder, making it safe and making it more efficient. The second beauty benefit of this one is, by being in this retracted posture, it makes sure his thoracic stays much more engaged and active. And of course, many of you will fail a front squat position because you become very rounded, your elbows naturally drop because they are in a passive position, and all of a sudden the bar falls forward or you go to your toes and you lose your connection to your posterior chain. We're talking about setting up from the outset in a way which is conducive to good position, but also keeping your shoulders safe. So before you start forcing range of movement with your front rack, and I've seen this many times with band distraction, band assisted exercises, make sure you are setting up the shoulder girdle in the right position first. Otherwise, you are lining yourself up for a shoulder disaster, okay? As always, guys, your comments are always welcome. Please feel free to write in and let us know what your thoughts are. We'll catch you next time.